Okay.
Can't.
Refresh when you're ready. It should be there. How long? Did you notice how long that was for?
Wow, there's some weird thing.
Couple seconds.
I thought that was pornography for a minute because there was someone on a thing and it looked weird and.
That's just your mind, love. Sorry about that, boys and girls. Brian will keep a close eye just to make sure. Because he must. No idea what happened there. Absolutely no idea. It's just, I don't know.
And I have nothing else to do, so
yeah.
Now I will say that was not in the script.
No technical
proof
difficulties.
That we're live. Proof that we're live. You know, we're going to have to do a Ghostwatch version of the Flashing Blade at some stage. With people being
I'm
haunted.
down for it.
People being haunted live, and send us a message if you think you've seen anything. That sort of nonsense. That could be quite funny.
I saw a stripy thing on Retta's screen.
My vision.
being
I
invaded by
lost my
aliens.
vertical hold on my vision last night. It got really strange and was like this for about 5 minutes. It was very disorientating and very horrible. And I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. So anyway, that's the end of spoilers.
Are your pipes going?
That's the end of spoilers. I'm not listening to you because you're a very silly person.
Spoilers.
I'm just asking if your pipes are
End of spoilers. End of spoilers.
It's silly.
End of spoilers.
Spoilers.
Guess
end.
what? No, really, they've ended.
City at the end of the
Are you
spoilers.
sure?
I've got no.
Would you like me to spoil more?
No. You know I'm spoiler reverse.
Soylent Green is people.
No! Damn you all to hell! Oh, wrong film.
That was
Sorry.
actually Earth.
That was the wrong film. I do apologise.
The thing is, right, with Planet of the Apes,
Yeah.
he finds the Statue of Liberty
Yeah.
by a cliff.
Yes.
There's no cliffs in New York City.
I think they're basically showing there was a huge tectonic upheaval. Right,
About
so
50,000
hang on.
years later,
Shut
they're
up! Jesus, I'm determined to.
I'm just addressing a question from
No, I don't give a pair of fetid dingoes kidneys. Sit down and shut up. And eat your ice cream.
Knowledge.
Right. News. Update. The Flashing Blade Staggering Stories Picnic in the Park, which I need to get out at the top of the show. That's why I told you to shut up. I've got to do it now. I know. Yeah.
Not the top of the show. We're half an hour in.
Yeah, I know.
Twinkies.
A clue? So anyway, yes. July the 2nd at Goffs Park, Goff, in Crawley. It's not very far from the train station. It's within walking distance. However, if you need a lift from the train station, shoot either myself or Adam Purcell a message on Facebook. 1 o'clock or thereabouts. It's fairly easy. It's a fairly easy. What the hell does that mean? The time is, look, we're saying 1 o'clock, but poodle along when you can. And there is a pub at the top of the hill, which is a very, very nice one. And we hope you're going to be there. Because this week, boys and girls, I celebrate my 15th anniversary of podcasting. Thank you. Thank you very much. At least somebody recognises the achievement.
Congratulations.
Adam and I were looking back, actually, because...
We can't hear you, Paco.
Yeah, which is lovely.
I know I'm not allowed to talk.
No, he's not. So, listen, he's taken that a step further, and it's a step I'm fine with. So... right. Adam and I started Staggering Stories. We're in dispute about this. He says I started it. I say he started it. Back, 15 years ago. He'd wanted to do a website and we had been doing the website, the Staggering Stories website, for quite some time. The whole idea, it was supposed to be a bit like those 50s anthology books, astounding stories, amazing fantasy, all that sort of stuff, but where we'd write up our role-playing adventures. as well as anything else, like the Carrot of Doom, for example. And it was chugging along rather nicely. But then he wanted to do a podcast. He'd been listening, because he's very big on Linux. And he'd been listening to a podcast called Lug Radio. Now, I hadn't heard of podcast before then. But it was very well produced. And he was determined, if there was going to be a podcast, he wanted to add their standards. Which is, fair enough. It's a lot of work, but fair enough. And so we recorded the first one. There was myself, Adam, and Andy, or Crumbly, as you'd know him. I haven't gone back to listen to it recently, but I have a horrible feeling it's dreadful. The second episode, they made me eat the dips you get with pizza. Different flavours, garlic and herb, barbecue sauce, this sort of thing. Just to give my opinion of them, because they were disgusting. Oh, Jesus. And then a few weeks later, I think Adam again invited Karen, or Fake Keith, onto the show. And immediately the show balanced, and we were off. Best decision anyone's ever made in podcasting was to get Karen Dunn involved. She's brilliant. And, well, the Staggering Stories podcast has taken off. And, I mean, whilst it's the 15th anniversary, it's very soon going to be their 400th show. And Adam and I sort of sat there and we looked back. We took a moment very quickly just to look back. And we've realised that between us, in fact, individually, but between us, we've done one hell of a body of work. I had no idea just how much we've done. It's ridiculous. Because we're doing it once a week, or we are anyway, Staggering Stories once a fortnight, you don't realise how much they mount up. For example, this is show 124 of this iteration of The Blade, and there's been 2 other iterations. So, what have I learned from podcasting? Anyone?
Don't eat yellow snow.
There is that, yes. It's always good advice. You can't go wrong with that advice. Let's be honest with you. That's good advice.
I was supposed to be learning something?
No. I said, what have I learned? It was supposed to be a rhetorical question, but apparently people are answering.
What have you learned? Nothing. Because you're going to end up eaten by your cats, remember?
Yeah. So. I've learned how to edit, to do sound editing. And put trailers together and nonsense like that. I mean, I didn't start off podcasting. I started off with internet radio a few years before that. So I had a run-up, whereas Adam came to it fresh. I've met a lot of really nice people. I've met this lot. And...
I'm sorry.
Always a downside, isn't there?
Yeah, and I've trampled all over my co-hosts. What are you doing? Turn it off! Turn it off! We'll get a copyright strike. Retta!
I was on mute, I thought.
No, you were just playing a sea shanty.
Yes, I was. Sorry. I thought I was on mute. My bad.
You'll get a copyright strike.
Are better than B shanties, but not as good as D shanties.
No, I disagree. C's a very lovely chord.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that.
Key.
That's actually fine for copyright. She was watching TikTok. It was less than 10 seconds. I wouldn't worry about it.
Sorry.
You love standing up for her, don't you? I'm noticing this. She can fight her own battles.
I'm not allowed to talk.
Okay, right.
Fortunately, he's skilled in sign language.
Yes, international sign language at that. So,
Brian, I'd let you talk if this was my podcast. Just saying.
You'd regret it, though. You'd regret it.
No, because Sinister could handle Paco.
No, I truly don't think he could.
Oh,
Hello, Arthur. Oh, this is new. Arthur's come to say hello. He never comes to say hello
Hello,
over
Arthur.
here. This is Arthur.
hello, Arthur. Have we
my
said
splodgy
hello
nose.
to Pete yet?
What? Yeah?
We
What?
greeted Pete yet? Aren't we supposed to say hi to someone named Pete or something?
I don't know what you're talking about.
In chat.
Mm.
Oh,
Say hello to whoever, and we usually yell hello.
Oh, I don't think they're there. Are they there? Are they there? I don't know. Let's have a look.
Hello, Thomas.
Dizzy.
Thomas.
Dizzy.
Is he? Well, we said hello to Her Majesty already.
Who's Thomas?
No.
Izzy is the queen.
Okay. To Moko, I'd understand. Right. So, yeah, 15 years. I've interviewed more people than you've had hot dinners. And as a result, I've actually become quite easygoing around famous people. They suffer from Schrodinger's trousers the same as everybody else. It's so. Sorry.
you mean imposter syndrome?
No, Schrodinger's trousers.
I don't know what that is.
Yes, you do. You were here when we formulated the fit. Oh no, was that Eddie? You know about this theory. If you put on a pair of trousers, you normally do it, or take them off, you normally do it one leg at a time, yeah? So, therefore, are the trousers on or are the trousers off when you're halfway through the operation? Are they on or off?
Neither.
And both. So, therefore, Schrodinger's trousers, they're in a quantum state. Quantum pants.
Trousers and trouserlessness, right.
The Schrodinger's cat thing relates to observation.
Yes.
Well, you're observing the status of your trousers.
Not
as you put
necessarily.
them on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you damn well should be.
Should be.
So many fashion embarrassments explained. Right. So, yeah, I thought I'd bring that up. I wasn't going to actually make a thing out of it, but apparently I did. 15 years, Jesus Christ. Huge thanks to everyone who's managed to co-host with me. I really do appreciate it.
And you still haven't finished menopause yet.
And
We're so
F off to a couple of others who were who didn't take my advice. That's all I'm going to say.
Am I the only one that's co-hosted on all three versions?
Yes.
That makes me special.
You're special. Yeah. You're a long-term prisoner, co-host. Yeah, no, we've been. I mean, you must have done Christ knows how many. I mean, we had 61 of the Vidiprog. We
don't know how many.
I don't know how many of the Flashing Blade podcast happened there. I have no idea. I know there's about 220 some odd Flashing Blades. Then there's the 60. Then there's 124 of these. Then you've got my 2 stints on the WhoCast, plus my 23 episodes of Staggering Stories. Like I say, Adam and I were looking back and basically thinking to ourselves, Jesus.
And 2FD.
FD?
2FD.
I haven't used that pencil.
You can work it out. I'm not going to tell you. 2FD.
You do, of course, realise I really couldn't care.
We do it every Friday.
Oh, 2 fan dinosaurs. Thank you very much.
I was waiting.
I'm sorry. You've not referred
I would
to it
make
like
her
that
guess
before.
it out.
Sorry, Brian?
I would make her guess it out.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have I told you not to speak with your mouth open?
But then she told me she didn't care, which immediately prompted a knee-jerk reaction in my brain, and I thought, you fucking well will care.
So there you go. There should be cake. There won't be. But like I say, we're celebrating it at Goss Park on the 2nd of July. It would have been next Saturday, but there's a train crash? No, there's a train strike. And so hopefully it'll be easier on July the 2nd for people to get there. Please come. It would be lovely to see you all. The more the merrier, quite frankly. I am very sorry to our listeners and our co-hosts in America who are going to miss out on this. You could always hold a get-together yourselves, you know. You're not that far apart.
America's not that big.
Nah, I've seen it on a map. It's only about like that.
Small, yeah.
Yeah.
Teeny tiny.
$5
You can cover
a
it with
gallon
your
for gas. No, thank you.
$5. How many liters in a gallon?
Don't do this. No,
Ew.
I know what's going to
You
happen.
would have to ask your Amazon thing there. I'm not allowed to speak.
Alexa, how many liters in a gallon?
Oh, are we going to get humpy about that
Actually.
now, are we?
4.5 liters. So how much per gallon,
Oh, no.
Brian?
$5, he said.
Five.
$5.
Right. So
Convert that
Alexa,
to
what's
quids.
5 divided by 4.5?
Be about $1.25 a liter.
4.5 is approximately $1.1111.
$1.1. Alexa, what's $1.1 in pounds sterling?
$1 is about 90 pence.
90 pence. Okay. It's currently double that where I live.
We've always...
Pound 87.9 per litre.
And it's gone over £2 at some stations. And that's just petrol. Diesel's more expensive. Yeah.
You know,
We always-
you
we
can
always-
buy.
We've always had cheaper, more expensive petrol than the
We
Americans.
always. Because
we have
how
so
much
much
of-
tax put on it.
How much of your petrol your gas is tax? Do you
That's
know?
fair.
About 16%.
Something more
Per
than that,
gallon.
25 or something
16
like
16 cents per gallon, I want to say.
that.
I think
Wait a minute.
about 75% of what we pay on petrol is tax
It's
of
pretty poor.
various descriptions.
Yeah, it's pretty poor.
VAT and other sorts. So yeah, they
However-
knocked 5p a litre a few weeks ago, which did absolutely nothing.
No. But a lot of it didn't get passed on, quite frankly. Though, to be
18.3
fair,
cents
you've taken
regular
steps
gas.
to rectify this, haven't you, Doctor?
24.3 for diesel.
I have taken steps to try and rectify it, and
Mm-hmm.
probably just in time.
I looked at your latest report.
Yes.
It
Report.
looks very good.
Yeah,
This hybrid
Okay.
car of yours. I look
Yeah,
forward to
okay,
being
it's-
driven
it's,
up to Hooverville in style.
yeah. It might not be very fast because I'm trying to drive a bit slower at the moment.
Right, question. Are you
Okay.
still here for next Sunday?
What? Me?
Yes.
What's next Sunday?
It's flashing white, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
Why wouldn't
it's
I?
leader day the day after.
Oh yeah, but other people do the preparations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Will you actually be here? You don't know because
Yeah.
if it's a surprise party, you won't.
I don't know. I don't do surprise parties.
Okay.
If anyone, by the way, just general reference.
Yes.
If anyone ever throws me a surprise party, I'm leaving. I will leave the party. I do not do surprises.
I thought they were going to you were going to shoot them because, you'd be startled and have to defend yourself.
Well, I'd probably just throw a hand grenade in the door and then close it behind me.
Is
Fair.
the hand grenade name Hank?
It could be whatever you want it called to be called.
I'm going to strongly suggest Willie Pete in that instance, right? A white phosphorus grenade, because then closing the door would actually have some meaning,
A white phosphorus. That's nasty. That's
I know,
nasty.
right?
I like it.
I like that shit. Keep it coming.
Spanky can bastard up pretty much anything.
Right. So that was that. It was supposed to be celebratory, but this lot decided to destroy it all and run me through the mud.
I gave you a
You
clap.
did give me a clap.
I
give you
did
the
say
clap.
woohoo.
Oh, woo,
Jeez.
that's good.
I'm not allowed to speak.
15 years.
I'm not allowed to say it's in the script.
No. It's
I'm
it's
not allowed to leave.
Spanky, what are you not allowed to do?
I'm not allowed to smoke.
very wise. If I'm honest with you. Anyway, should we do what we came here for?
Nah.
Must
We
be.
can-
We came here to do a thing.
I can't actually remember which Doctor Who episode I watched this week.
And now, from the worlds of television's Doctor Who, it's something or other, we're not sure.
Oh no, I remember now.
You just
Shut!
Ah.
when I say, and now from the world's BBC Television's Doctor Who, it's Doctor Who, I play a video with music as an introductory piece, you see, which is why we don't talk over it. Well,
why don't you
people
have
do.
sound faders?
That's far too complex, and quite frankly, I can't be asked.
Oh, I can fix that. Hang on just a second.
I suspect some
See?
form of sabotage. I've no idea.
It works so well for sound faders.
You basically, have you turned my volume down on Discord?
I don't think she knows.
I know. We can't hear you.
That's strange. You should be able to. What? What?
You're fine, Auntie.
Just
I'm very
remember,
confused.
I control the horizontal, I control the vertical.
Oh, I see the feedback thing. Yeah, okay. I've no idea what you did there. I am going to want to know because it might be a useful thing to have to be able to do in the future. Sinister, before you go tonight, I need to talk Briggsy with you. Right, so. Oh, yeah. Bill Potts, as Bill. Now she's a student, has decided she's going to move into a shed house. The one they go for is actually quite cheap, but it shouldn't be that cheap because that's a fuck-off house, quite frankly. I'd love to live there. Except there's knockings in the walls, and the landlord is a bit peculiar. So anyway, Dr. Basil Disco poses as Asbill's grandfather. The grandson of Harry Sullivan, who, as we all know, is an imbecile, is there as well. It's a throwaway line. It means nothing. And Doctor Who has to find out why the students are disappearing. And what is it with the landlord and his tuning fork? Ding! Well, we'll find out. Who would like to go first on Knock Knock Sinister?
What? Me?
Yes. That's what the one you were watching, remember?
Yeah, I remember now.
Okay. Right, I can relax.
Yeah, I think they could have, rather than having the soppy scene with the wooden woman at the end, I think they could have dragged out the tension in the episode a bit more before they decided to go into the wrap-up scene and the exposition. I think because there was a lot of funny goings on that I think they could have got a lot more out of.
I also think, personally, when you say that, I'm actually thinking of Gabriel Chase. I think they should have burnt the place to the ground instead of having a soppy ending.
Yeah. So basically, so these alien things.
Yes.
By the end of the episode, they were going through other substances, not just wood, weren't they? So they weren't just locked to wood, so to speak. Which I thought undermines somewhat the premise that there was a lot of wood in this building and that they were using the wood to travel around the building, kind of thing. I quite liked. I mean, the idea of them sort of being controlled or activated by high-pitched sound was quite good. I liked the bit with the guy half stuck in the wall. That was very nice. It was an okay episode. Not a problem with it. A
bit run of the mill, isn't it? With this feeling it could have been more.
I mean, to start with, it threw me a little bit, probably because I wasn't paying attention, and I thought the Bill moving in was like a flashback, and then I remembered, oh no, she's not travelling with the Doctor because he's meant to be stuck on Earth supposedly. But yeah, I like the fact that he materialised the TARDIS around her stuff to help move it. But I mean, I don't really have anything bad to say apart from the fact that the denouement and the explanation was a bit, as I say, dragged out, and I think they could have got more scary bits out of it because there were some scary bits in this, and I think the balance was slightly wrong. Also, this is a bit of an underhand criticism.
Ooh.
In modern Doctor Who, I'm getting a bit fed up with monsters who aren't really monsters.
Ah,
They're well-meaning.
but misunderstood.
Yeah. I just think I like my villains to be villainous.
I don't think.
We do enjoy proper villains. Yeah.
I think we're going to have some proper villains coming up. I don't think there's another one like this. Brian! What did you make of it?
May I speak now?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, this was a good episode, having been on that side of the fence as Bill.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll recall, when we first started the Blade, I was living in a townhouse with myself, my current roommate, my son, his girlfriend,
Okay.
and a troll in the basement. It's a great way to split expenses because a $1,200 townhouse I was paying roughly less than $400 a month for.
It's pretty good.
That was that was really
Well,
freaking
again, if we look at
nice.
it and do the sums, it's actually quite cheap in British money.
Yeah,
Compared
that was
to
really
what things
quite
are
nice.
really like out there.
I would take that guy's deal. I don't care if it's haunted. I don't care if there are monsters in the walls. It's a great freaking deal.
It's a lovely house as well.
I mean, frankly, if
beautiful
it's haunted, they should be contributing. The ghost should be contributing to the rent.
Exactly.
Damn
I mean,
straight.
if they can knock things off the shelves, they can move a freaking broom.
Do the dishes. I would rather they do the dishes.
I'll take dishes. I don't. Just as long as they participate. You know, I mean, we're building a community here. Having the guy's mother turn to wood and then him turning into essentially Anthony Perkins. A little cliched in the fact that he was, obsessed with his mommy. But it harkens back to, of course, the whole gas mask kid thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember when the doctor said, find me a little boy that wouldn't tear the world apart for his mommy?
Yeah. Well done, Brian. Good call.
He's never really grown up. He still had that whole mommy thing going on there.
Very much so. He was like a little boy.
Yeah. And you
You're
could
quite
tell
right.
his performance was actually very well done.
It's David Suchet.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no.
Sir David Suchet.
He hit the whole. He was an adult 1 second. His mommy came into play, and boom, he was a 9-year-old kid.
Right.
That was very well done.
Nice
I
callback to the
think-
Empty Child, by the way. Beautifully
Yeah.
done. Beautifully done.
I think the makeup and stuff on the mother could have been done a little bit better. There was just something about the eyes I didn't like.
Was it makeup or
The
was
wooden
it
eyes.
kind of effect applied afterwards?
I think it was
couldn't
a
work-
CGI.
Either way, it wasn't that great.
No.
It lacked.
Okay.
There was definitely something lacking there. I found it convenient that she could restore all the roommates who have been eaten by the house. So what happens to the other people over the years?
That's just
Well,
it.
this
Hang on.
is-
They're eaten by the house. But it looks more like they're transformed just into wood by the house.
I don't even think they're
This is
transformed.
It's a bit.
Yeah,
this is what I was saying about villains who aren't villainous, and your reference to the Empty Child is bang on, because at the end of that episode,
Everybody
everybody
lives.
lived. To be honest, I find that a cop out. Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who, and I'll quote Russell T Davies, is a charnel house.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. It is.
It
Look
is.
at the horror of Fang Rock.
Yeah.
No one apart from the Doctor and Leela survive. Everybody else gets
Well,
brutally killed.
not only that, but there's the people from the 90s. There's the people from the 70s.
Yeah.
There's the people from the 50s.
Yep.
Yep.
The 60s they
Decades of
didn't touch
people there.
because, Jesus, the
They're
drugs.
gone.
No, they
Yeah.
were gone when they moved
They've
in.
all been consumed, apparently, right?
Yeah, they're
It's-
subsumed into the house, into
So you
the
can have
wood.
the latest batch back, right? That was kind
And
Did
I'm
you
of
really
enjoy it?
sad that they destroyed the house because that was freaking beautiful.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, for the
It
most part.
was an
I mean,
episode, but a workaday
it was an
episode.
episode.
Yeah, all right.
Pardon?
Workaday episode.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. It was an episode.
Okay.
I'm gonna like it better when they get to the spaceship
In space.
later on in the series.
In spoilers, some people haven't seen this. Has anybody
just
not
saying
seen this
spaceship.
series of Doctor Who yet?
It's a spaceship in Doctor Who.
Shut
When
up a
aren't they?
second. Has anybody not seen this series before? Oh, well, that's good. And Spanky's pointing to himself. In that case, we have to be careful because there's some beautiful,
We do. But saying
beautiful
there's,
delights to come, and I don't want to spoil them.
however, saying there's a spaceship in a Doctor Who episode,
Yes, in space.
in
In
space,
space.
that's not really telling.
That's a spoiler,
anything.
goddamn you.
It's the most nondescript spoiler you can get.
All right, then, Retta, what did you make of this, love? Oh, don't raise your eyes to the ceiling.
No, I'm thinking.
I got
Give me
dumped.
a
I got
moment.
dumped by somebody for doing that.
The script's up there.
That's where she put. How does she reach?
Oh, that's right.
Got a big stick.
Of course, right.
Well,
That's where our standards are as well.
you know,
No.
I
Way down.
don't really have much thoughts about it at all. I mean,
I can see
It was
where
a
you're
Doctor
coming
Who-
from. Yeah,
it was a Doctor Who's episode. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't feel like I was being completely bored through the episode, like some shows you watched are. But why are you looking at me?
it's an archive television show, a British archive British TV show.
I will have everybody notice she brought that up. I did not mention anything
You
about
are
that.
a player, girl. You really are. I'm not
I'm
falling
just
for it.
saying. I'm just saying you're the one who brought that up.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
I mean, for all you
I mean,
know, I
you
could have been talking
you
about
laid the pit
airplane.
open for people. But,
For all you know, I could have been talking about airplane.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, except you deliberately you were determined not to enjoy it.
Well, we're not going to talk about that right now because I'm supposed to be talking about this wonderful episode of Doctor Who with the
Change
fake
your
wooden mommy.
Wonderful. Okay, interesting use of the word wonderful there.
But no, otherwise, yeah, I mean, the one thing I don't get, though, is, okay, these alien termites, I'm going to call them termites. They're not
Yeah.
lice. They're, because they're all about the wood and everything. Like, they destroyed the house. I get that. But then what happened to them?
She makes a fair point.
They get burned up or what? Right.
Well, no, they didn't. They didn't burn up. They just looked like they kind of just went down into the earth. So where are they? What new houses they've gone to destroy things?
I
I mean-
have wooden walls. I don't have
Problem
wooden
not solved. Problem, shuffled off onto someone else. Right. That was another thing that bothered me. I'm with you.
It's a bit like Harmony Shoal in Europe
So honestly, it kind of goes
unit.
to the fact that, are we sure that these bugs are innocent? I mean, they did what they did, and then they were like, oh, well, I guess we have to move on. So now they're off to doing somewhere else.
Are they
their-
intelligent, though? That's the question. Are they aware of
I
what
think
they're
they're a
doing?
hive mind.
Yeah, and controlled by the mother at the time. Controlled by the son,
By the sun.
and then the mother took over.
Or are you sure that she isn't was controlling them all the time because of the fact that the son convinced her that they were there? So subconsciously, she was controlling them to what he willed them to be controlled as.
The only thing I can turn around and say is excellently pointed out. My own view is sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, but that is a fair comment. That's a very fair
I'm
comment.
checking the time here, and I am contractually obliged to say this.
Yes.
Shop at Iceland.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes, that's why mums have gone there. apparently. Men don't go there, so I'm told. Mum's gone to Iceland. Who knew? Reykjavik. Right,
Reykjavik.
Retta, that was nice. to know.
Iceland's a big freezer store, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spanky love, did you watch
Yes, ma'am.
Doctor Who and the Termites of Doom?
I did the Termites of Doom. This whole thing kind of reminded me of an episode of like Scooby Doo or something. It had kind of that flavor to it, right? Did anyone else get that kind of feeling?
No, I did. Yep.
I know. where you're
I know. I
coming
got Reddit there. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, that hit the nail on the head, right?
Yeah.
I
The
want
one that was really a
them to
villain.
run from one room to the other.
Yeah,
I'd go and watch Love and Monsters if you want that, because they
Man,
do
I'm
that.
saying, so it was like,
I would not watch Love and Monsters because it's crap.
Now this is where Sinister and I disagree. It's a wonderful dissection of fandom and a love letter to fandom.
It has a very awful sex joke at the end.
There is that. It was a step too far, a paving step too far.
all right. No, I
Go on,
thought
Spence.
the gas mask kid kind of thing, what a boy wouldn't do for his mom kind of thing. That I got that, and the monsters that aren't monsters, and the kind of Scooby Doo-esque thing, and what did happen to the bugs kind of bugged me. So the doctor points out that they are extraterrestrial in origin. Okay, but that's kind of an easy cop out because there's so much more to say after that. Like, then are they intelligent or not? What are they doing
Do
there?
you think
Where do they go
that
after
possibly
The house collapse and all that.
this story was a victim of its short running time?
Well, I had a theory on that.
Yes, please.
If they want to salvage this episode, what they do is another one later on in, with the doctor later, and it's where the mom basically collapsed into the earth with the bugs or something, and they pop up in another building, and she's actually the evil mastermind, and they're just killing the shit out of people, and she gave the kids back just so the doctor wouldn't hunt her down and destroy her. If they
love
could
it.
do that.
I love
as
it.
an-
He
as another
started
episode,
coming up
that would
with
be great.
Doctor Who plots. This is brilliant.
Do that for
He's
everything
becoming a
else.
fan, Sinister. He's becoming a fan.
I've been a fan. I like old Who. I don't know new.
Well, this
Who,
is
that's
what I
all.
was thinking. If this was an old school story, apart from the fact that bloodletting would have been a lot more,
Oh yes.
they'd have had
wouldn't have-
time to explain a bit more about all that. This one
Yeah.
is a hostage to its running time.
It was rushed, right? And
Yeah.
that was the other thing.
It's a
It
lot
was-
of.
it-
It's a
just
problem
rushed.
with modern day Doctor Who, to be fair. And I say modern day, I mean from 2005 onwards. Getting the
Yeah,
pacing
it-
right can sometimes be difficult.
They either needed more time, right, or they should have, set the pacing so they could have had more time for exposition. But instead, like Sinister said, the denouement was all kind of
Sinister.
fizzled.
Do you remember
Hello.
doing Victory of the Daleks with me? There's a reason I ask, and it's gonna.
I didn't do Victory of the Daleks with you.
In that case, it must have been on the Who cast.
Victory of the Daleks was when I created the website, the campaign for Real Daleks,
Yes.
and you contacted me, and that's how I first started listening to your podcast.
I thought you listened to it a lot sooner than that.
We definitely need
Nope.
real dollars.
Because we were at the. I mean, you turned up to the first Winter Warmer. You were the first guest there.
Not the first one, I don't think.
I think. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I had no idea that's how that happened. Oh, well, basically, what I was saying was Victory of the Daleks I didn't like. Apart from the Teletubby Daleks, the scripting's a bit off. And I honestly thought to myself it would have been a lot better if they'd had a second episode where they could spend some time, some really creepy time, in on an airfield with the hangars, where the Spitfires are being modified,
Yeah.
and Amy's there, and Bracewell maybe, or another one, is hunting them down and trying to stop them. That would be, or a Dalek, even. It should have been. There should have been another way. Yeah, Spanky, did you enjoy this? Hello, Ichi.
It was kind of a middle of the road episode.
Everyone's
for me.
saying
It
that,
was-
and I agree with you.
I didn't dislike it. Just it was, it felt rushed on. I expected more.
Well,
That's all.
can I just point out one last thing? No one's mentioned it yet. Without saying because Spanky has not seen this series. Who's behind the vault door?
I actually don't remember.
I remember.
Yeah.
Spanky, who do you think? Or what do you think? Because remember, they have a very interesting chat at the end of this.
Doesn't that go back to that like Centurion thing or something?
The Pandorica? No.
Yeah,
I can see where you're coming from, but no.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure then.
All right, then.
He's
You will
hiding
find out
something in
next
there
week.
before, but-
Next week, we're
Oh, really?
looking at Doctor Who and the Excellus.
All
Oh,
right.
no, Extremis. Excellus was a big finish. Quadrilogy. Okay. Yeah, we're looking at Extremis next week. Doctor Who and the Extremist.
Wolf booty.
Extremist.
There you
Sorry, it's Retta again. Yeah. It's a good one. It's really a good
go.
one.
I commit
It's
one
fucking
jihadi
amazing.
genocide and nobody forgives you, do they, Retta? Don't take it.
No, it's quite all right. We will get eventually, after probably this, we will talk about the RPG.
We'll talk towards the end of the show. That's when we normally talk
That's
about
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it then.
Okay, so that was Doctor Who and the Knock Knock. Thank God nobody actually made the joke during the thing. Or did they?
Oh my god.
Who's there?
I don't know. Who's on first?
That would have been
What's
too
on
much for me,
second?
right? Yeah.
I don't know. He's on third.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I know the routine. It's a fucking amazing Abbott and Costello routine. If you've never seen Who's On First by Abbott and Costello, you need to look it up on YouTube because it's two old school masters of comedy. And it is. It's an old school double act. It's an American double act, and they're very good. Quite frankly, I think they hated each other, didn't they?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, this pleases me. This
They got
pleases
good.
me greatly. So there. Now, Spanky and I did listening. Spanky, did you listen to the first one of these? Did you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, love. We listened to Doctor Who and the War Master.
Oh yes.
Spanky, are you intending on listening to the rest of these? Because
I
remember,
am.
you. Oh, right. In that case, I'm going to be a little bit circumspect in what I say. It's the latest War
appreciate
Master
that.
best. It's the latest War Master box set, starring Sir Derek Jacobi. Spanky, like I say, he was in a
Being
David
his first
Tennant
Doctor.
episode. Except right up until the end, he wasn't himself. He was somebody else. It's a long story, but it's one hell of a reveal. Had me on the edge of my seat. It's a story called Utopia, in case you ever want to go and see it. Oh,
She had to get a drink.
all
She
right.
went to get a drink.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah. 4 stories in this one. Thanks for the workload, Big Finish.
We love you for it.
Yeah, Spanky's only managed to do the one, but then again, you weren't sure how many to do anyway, and I've always said, you know, if you can do one, that's great. So the first one is The Forest of Penitence, and yes, I have got the website up here because my memory's shit. Only listened to the last one last night. This is by Lou Morgan.
I
Right,
like the idea and the title. That worked out really well. I enjoyed it.
Forest of Penitence. I enjoyed The Forest of Penitence as well. Basically, the Master wakes up with no memory how he's got there. There's other people there. Things, they don't know how they got there. Things seem to be laid out for them, like a tent and a campsite. And it's a case of, what the hell is this? What's going on here? And we see the Master working it out. And once he's worked it out, using it to dispose of the others, essentially.
One by one. Once he
The
figures
one
out
thing
what's up,
you need to remember is the Master has no guilt. He doesn't feel guilty about what he's done. As I said to Spanky earlier, the War Master is the bastard of the family. He is the nastiest by far. Apart from anything else, one thing I love about Jacobi's performance is it's I'm not going to say old school. It's a sensible performance. It's none of the looniness that John Sim comes out with, and and Sasha Jarwan and whatever. It's great, but it's a case of the Master never used to be that nutty. Calm it down a bit, and Jacobi nails it. Absolutely nails it.
And he's got a fantastic laugh when he goes into full Master.
Oh,
laugh
yeah.
is
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, it's a Knight of the Realm. One of our greatest actors. Well, so lucky.
You're right. He's not nutty, but he is insane.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm. And that's a cool thing, right? Because there's a difference, right? The nutty and versus insane, that calculating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally
Something
agree.
I like about the Master.
And he's so I haven't heard this box set. I will have to buy it because Jacoby is my favorite Master, but he is so casual about just killing someone.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
Even
yes.
even if it's someone he's been traveling with for a little while, if he gets bored of them, they're gone. That's it. Doesn't
You're
think
done.
about it again.
Bye bye.
Actually, listening to Jacoby, I was reminded in part of Colin Baker nowadays, to be honest with you. Did you enjoy The Forest of Penitence?
I did. I liked it a lot. I thought it was good. I thought it was an interesting story idea, and the whole
Oh, yeah.
that the War Master gives these people comeuppance at the end was kind of funny, and that
It's,
was entertaining. I liked it, and I liked
I
it was a cool
would-
idea for a prison, right? I mean,
yes,
they
I
don't
would
give
much.
too much away.
I would pay hard cash for there to be a spin-off of Doctor Who on the TV following
The
the
War Master.
Master.
The Master or
and-
the War Master?
I don't care,
Yeah.
but a series
Missy
where
in particular is my favorite.
where-
from him, but
it doesn't matter how evil he is, you end up rooting for him.
you do, right? I'm saying I love the Master. I would love to see that. I wouldn't mind seeing this episode done up as like a video show as well as the audio. I think they could totally do this and like
Josh Snares, over to you.
put it to
and
pictures
and,
woo.
and it would be a series where, much like this, the Doctor doesn't come along and save the day. If the Master gets defeated, it's because of his own overambition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He dropped one he could chew, or he just got too distracted with too many irons in the fire and went fuck it, and like went on. Yes, that'll be great. Oh.
So that's
That
the
would be
first one,
amazing.
and it is very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. Makes sense. And there's the ongoing mystery of how the hell has he got there. We find out. Dr. Una McCormack has written the second story called The Players. Nothing to do with Terrence Sticks, unfortunately. Basically, he lands on a planet where nobody's an innocent. And the only true crime, according to this, is to be less successful villain than those around you. Now, I should point out, by now we've discovered what's happening with the Master, why this is all happening, and this is told in flashback. It's very good. It's a fascinating society that the Master has to peel away. He's there under false pretenses, of course. This planet wants to join the Confederation. And the Master's basically destroyed the ship of the old, envoy, that's right. And ambassador, and plays the part instead. And nobody knows until towards the end they suddenly realise he's been playing us all along. It's a good one. It is a very good one. Boundaries by Elizabeth Miles. Lisbeth? Hang on a moment.
The
Hang
Queen
on.
again.
That's just what I'm thinking, Sinister. Like, Lizzie Beth. Hello, love. If that is actually you, please say hello in chat. I'm about to review your story. Please don't be shy.
That would be pretty damned amazing if that was the case.
Or just a big coincidence. To be fair.
I'm actually going and buying this story, this box set.
You won't
right
regret
now.
it. You won't regret
I'm
it.
not going to regret it.
Well, you
I'm gonna
won't.
I'm listening to it this week on my drive into work. So there you go. So
Hooray!
yeah.
Hooray. Oh, hang on. You can't. There's 4 stories. You're only going to work 3 times a week.
No, because I can do it Tuesday there, Tuesday back, Wednesday there, Wednesday back, and Thursday other stuff.
Right, yeah. Anyway, Boundaries by Elizabeth Miles. I'm going to quickly check chat just to see if she has said anything. I doubt it very much. No, keep an eye on that, boys and girls, please. Okay. The Master, again, in flashback, is trying to prove that he's a good guy, sort of. You know, he's not as bad as they make him out to be. So he's on this planet with a companion called Cole. And Cole is there to basically save the world, which is fair enough. The Master's quite happily got himself a vineyard and is pootling around with grapes. Slight obsession. Not healthy. I don't like grapes. And then he notices something. Something is a bit wrong. And so he goes to have a look and discovers that basically there's a huge, and I'm reading from here, extraterrestrial entity that threatens to spread across the globe. Now, I have to admit, when I started out with this, I thought it might have been the Krynoid. I was incorrect. It's not the Krynoid. I'm not going to say what it is or how it's dealt with, because it's a brand new box set, and I'm very worried about spoilers, plus Spanky needs to listen to these. This is fun. This is the Master actually trying to do the right thing, not necessarily for the right reason, but he's going to save the world in the process. However, I think it's fair to say one little story like that does not an innocent make. And we move on to The Last Line by Lizzie Hopley.
There's another story with the War Master where he's off tending to a vineyard.
Well, perhaps it's a thing like the First Doctor in his Rose Garden.
Yeah, it's in a previous box set,
Fair
and
enough.
he's got a companion who's off trying to save this planet, and it all goes horribly wrong.
Of course. I mean, you know. Basically, we find out why the Master is where he is, and he needs help. So he calls for the Doctor. Unfortunately, the Doctor he gets is Mr. Dr. David Tennant, sir. It is not one of the ones he's familiar with, whereas Tennant knows this Master of old, because, of course, the Eighth Doctor, and I'm hoping, I'll come to that in a second, the Eighth Doctor met the War Master during the Time War, so Tennant, admittedly, he should have recognised Yana, but it wasn't there. But this is fascinating, and unlike with Out of Time 3, where the Sixth Doctor felt bolted on a little bit, Tennant sort of overrode him a little, with probably the energy, if I'm honest with you. This one is fascinating. Jacobi easily holds his own, of course he does. And Tennant fits in with this. It makes sense. His character fits in with the story. It's not overwhelming. It's just right. I really recommend this box set. You got one of the best actors in Britain, in the world, playing the Master. What more do you want, quite frankly? The one thing I do want is Jonathan Carley's War Doctor up against the War Master. I would love that. I really would. Okay, that's War Master Self-Defense, and it's bloody brilliant. Go watch it. Listen to it, basically. Hello, Babette Bombshell. I wonder if that's who I think that is. Ah.
Infinite love to all. Infinite returns to you.
It's going to get very crowded up there because they're going
Air
to go both
from my
ways.
lungs.
Yeah, for my lung.
Ooh, how very personal.
Not from my nose.
Are you picking your nose? Hello, Babette. How wonderful for you to come in. Welcome. I will explain. Babette's a Twitter user I follow. She's fucking wonderful, quite frankly. Absolutely amazing. Jesus. I don't know how else to describe her, quite frankly, apart from bloody wonderful. So, yeah, having you here, that's really lovely. I'm really chuffed about that. That's good. Right, so, that was Doctor Who. Next week, don't know what. I think we might be getting a fourth Doctor set. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow. I'll let you know as soon as I know. And obviously we're doing Extremis for the main Doctor Who story. Now then. The best little whorehouse in the verse.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we turn over to Retta and say, Retta, please summarize this week's Fireflyer for our audience. Because you're so fucking good at doing it. Go on.
Right. So picture this. You're in a desert
You bugger.
area, and you see this tinfoil house. And out in the front is a man and a woman, and they're just doing their various things. And all of a sudden, in the distance, they see these cowboys coming towards them with a guy who's in a shuttlecraft that looks like something out of Star Wars. And it's coming towards them. So they run into the house, and they bring out an older woman. And she confronts them. And come to find out, this guy's... Well, he thinks he's the big honcho of the planet. And he demands to see a girl that he believes he's impregnated and wants to take the baby. So his men drag the poor woman out. She's like 9 months pregnant. He sticks something in her to grab the DNA. And then they go away saying, if this DNA proves this baby is mine, I'm coming back to get it even if I have to cut it out of you. And he leaves. So the older woman named Nandi says that she's going to call to get some help. And who does she call? Not the Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
She calls the Serenity to speak to her old friend Anara. And she pretty much tells Anara what's going on. Anara says, I'll see what I can do. Mel's eavesdropping as usual. And they have somewhat of a moment, and then Anara pulls back saying, no, you're going to get money because this relationship needs to be a business transaction. I don't know where the business transaction thing started coming from with her.
I think Jane realised.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, that
Jane.
different sort of bad business transaction, quite frankly. I should think he'd end up leaving them owing them money.
Yes.
Well, they mentioned that in the in the episode. So, long story short, they go down there. Mal goes to size up the guy. And at first he says that he's going to take everybody and they're going to run because this guy seems to have like a lot of artillery and men and everything like that. Nandi says, no, I'm not going to leave this piece of land to these men. So they decide to stay and fight. Mal and Nandi have a moment. Which of course Anara overhears, but then denies that she cares about it. And they pretty much find out that one of the non-registered companions have decided to rat them out to the Yes, to the other guy, the bad guy there.
Madam, you are a quisling. You're a traitor.
So we definitely have a bad guy in this episode, which should satisfy Sinister.
Yeah,
There's no
boo him.
Like no goodness about this. He's completely a bad guy.
Yep, there's no shades of grey.
And yeah, so they have a shootout. Mal and their team obviously win because the show is called Firefly, not asshole guy who gets the baby. But unfortunately, Nandi gets caught in the crossfire, and they have a funeral for her. And then you got the last scene in Serenity where you think finally, yes, Malcolm and Anara are finally going to admit their feelings to one another. And then Anara pulls the ultimate bitch move and said, I have to leave. Because I'm afraid of my feelings and I can't admit them to you because they'll make life good and happy and I can't have that.
Are we getting a little bit involved with a fictional thing? Are you doing a Brian?
No, if you want to see me get involved in a fictional thing, you should have me do Glee for you guys and get involved with Clayne.
I don't know what that is. No,
You're
no.
good, Taco.
All right
You're
then,
good?
Brian. Thank you. Yep, good, lovely. Right,
You're good.
got that. International Sign Language is working very well tonight. Brian's proving to be a master of it.
Just saying. So that's the review.
Did you enjoy it? That wasn't a review.
I
That was a
enjoyed
plot.
it.
That was a plot summary. Now for the review.
Well, I did enjoy it. Jane was doing his normal thing as soon
Jane
as
was
he
being
found
Jane.
out that. Yep. As soon as he found out that he could get some, he got some a lot. In fact, I don't think he left that woman's room for the entire time.
Got as much as
And
he
I,
could.
yeah,
Found a new use
This
for
whole-
Mama's hat.
and this whole thing with Anara, all of a sudden, like turning around, talking about how it has to be completely business and blah 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 blah. I guess if you know what was supposed to be going on, okay, yeah, I get it. But we don't know what's supposed to be going on, so I just thought it was a bitch move. I really did.
All right. Fair enough. Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Okay.
Kaylee was great. I love the interaction between Kaylee and the pilot guy there, where she's like, "Tell me I'm pretty."
All right, fair
You
enough.
know?
This is good. Brian! Did you watch
Taco, you
Firefly?
may
Do you
talk
care?
What?
Do you want to talk about Firefly? You don't have to. It's all right.
No,
I wouldn't like to force you into anything.
I enjoyed this episode. I
Good.
love this episode.
Good.
Taco, I really like to hear your opinion, unlike
Or an
some
old
people.
refrigerator.
I found that this episode really harkens back to a lot of classic Western shows, a lot like The Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
It's along the
Three
same premise.
Amigos.
Yeah, well, no. But no, classic Western
And yeah, I
Which
know what you're
was-
saying. Yeah.
shows.
Taken from Japanese samurai movies, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It meshed the two together really
I
well.
mean, you could basically talk about for a
I can
fist-
let
a
you
fist-
guys continue on with the review. I mean,
No.
I
I'm just you've raised something.
no,
here.
it's okay. It's fine. I don't have to.
All right then. So the
Oh, guys, you're pissing Paco off.
no, we're not.
Yes, you are.
Oh, I thought you were joking. You see, you need to somehow.
No.
No. What I was thinking of, and I've forgotten now. Yeah, A Fistful of Dollars, where Clint Eastwood plays the gangs against each other and saves the town as a result. Don't worry about it. It's all right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Trouble is, Brian's not here to come back on that one, which is a shame. Spanky, what did you make of it?
It was a great episode. Liked it. Did harken back to those, episodes of westerns that were drawn so heavily from, samurai movies or other Asian movies, but they have a heavy Asian and Western influence anyway. So I think that was purely by intention. The only observation I would have made was, I think we see again Joss Whedon's kind of attitude towards women in Inara's sort of vacillation on her feelings for Mal and like the way he treats her and stuff like that, just is, and the way Mal acts with the one woman who's actually a whore versus the companion who's more of like a geisha.
It's a good description.
And how Joss Whedon doesn't really seem to be able to tell the difference between the two. Kind of he lumps them together, I think, and I don't know. He just seems to have a negative opinion of women, I think.
That is fair. That is fair. It's a great shame. After hearing about his behaviour, I suppose that's the best way we can put it. It does make watching these, especially Buffy, it makes it watching just that little bit more difficult. You know? It's a case of, oh, this is really good, but the guy behind it is a git. So, yeah, did you enjoy it?
I did.
Okay
I
then.
liked it. I thought it was good. Well, there's not much else to say. It's the the final episode. So
It's not.
isn't it? Oh no, the next to the last episode. But it was cut. The series is cut so short, and you realize that they only have this one episode. That was the last or one episode left, and it's like, man, you guys got me on this roller coaster ride, and it's like we just did the loop, and instead of going on to like the second bigger loop, they just stopped the ride and said, okay, get the hell off. And I'm like, no, you bastards! But here we are, getting off the roller coaster halfway through the ride. So
Yeah. I mean, it is a shame that Firefly didn't continue. But yes, it's the last episode next week. Sinister,
yeah.
have you spoken about this yet?
No.
Would you like to? I can see right up your nose.
This is one of the episodes that, for some reason, I stuck in my mind after my first watching some years ago. I don't really know why. I am a little bit concerned about the treatment of women in this story, and the whole thing about calling people whores. It doesn't sit well with me. I don't know
It
why
hasn't from the
Inara.
start of this, has it?
I don't know why Inara likes Mal. He's constantly calling her a whore.
He's an
He's
arsehole.
he's not very nice to her.
No.
The scene when she finds out that he slept with her best mate and she's in the room sobbing her heart out, I'm thinking, why are you doing this to yourself? He's horrible. The opening line when she said, "Oh, I suppose you heard all that," and he said, "Yeah, only because I was eavesdropping." I thought that was quite funny, but I just thought, I think so. Apart from the fact that it obviously got cut short, I do think, and I realise this is very rich of me coming from someone who likes Doctor Who. I think there were some budgetary issues here with this episode. The scene where the bad guy's riding along in his speeder bike or his car thing, it just looked really, really cheap and badly done, I thought. I think maybe if this series had come out maybe 10 years later, they could have made much more use of CGI. I know for a fact that the guys who did the CGI for Battlestar Galactica started with this.
Oh,
That's how Serenity ended up in the skies over Caprica.
Correct. Yeah, and I just think maybe, well, apart from the fact that, as I've said a couple of times before, I think some of these shots are filmed with a potato because the quality of the film is so bad. I also think the CGI is a little bit early, and I think maybe this series was a little bit ahead of time.
This is actually
right.
quite. We don't realise it, but it's actually quite an old show now.
Yeah.
You know, it's yeah. Brian's back. Excellent.
yay.
So, did you
Hello,
enjoy
Brian.
it, Brian?
I'm sorry.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna finish my review now if that's okay.
Yeah, go on.
Great. Hang on just a second. So what I was trying to say was, while it does harken back to the old shows, it also comes up with all new stuff. Having Jane pair off with one of the prostitutes, that's a given in this case. The minute he heard he was going to a whorehouse, he was all for it. It didn't change his idea about it a bit. The fact that they weren't getting paid money for this just goes to show that they're doing this more for a character thing and for a personality as a favor. I've seen the lady that played the madam in a bunch of other different things. She was on CSI, wasn't she, for a while there?
No, I've never seen
with
it.
Grissom.
Yes, actually, you're right.
Never seen it. I'm sorry.
She made a lot of guest appearances around that time. She's a good actress. I mean, having her pair off with Mal, it's one of those things where she knew he was into Inara. She didn't read Inara to see that she was into him. So it's a lack of communication when they paired off, and that hurt Inara greatly, as you can find out, because she made a bunch of horrible bad decisions there. Mainly about leaving the Serenity, which you find out leads into the next episode and then the following movie. So You get to see things set up a lot.
That's fair. Yes.
Didn't somebody say that she was supposed to die in season 2 or something?
I heard
Yeah, she
something about that.
was supposed to die in season 2. She has been sick this entire time. That is why she left. I don't know, the temple, whatever, the
Yeah.
training facility, the academy. That's why she left it, to get out and see the world. Because, well, what are you going to do when you get a bad diagnosis like that?
Fair. Very much so. We've got one episode of this left.
And then the movie.
And then the movie, which means the return of Adam Purcell from Staggering Stories. He's coming to, well, as long as he's around, he's going to join us to talk about Serenity. I have to find my copy of it. I'm not sure where it is.
Not on Disney.
That's a fair question.
Let me have
Check
a look.
Hulu.
Hang on.
Too
Let me
many
have a quick look.
subscription things. Hulu, I know. I've got too many as it is. Quite
Do
frankly,
we have Hulu over here?
I don't know, love. Like I say, you can't keep track of them all. It's called getting old.
Hang on a sec. I'm just searching it now. I could do voice, but we're on a thing, so.
Everyone's wearing. Oh no, Brian isn't wearing headphones. I was going to say it wouldn't matter. And I can't remember what you're looking up now. Oh, shitting hell. My memory. Dear God. So
We
yeah,
were talking about Serenity.
thank you very much. Yes.
I've not seen the film on here. I mean, I've got it on DVD anyway, but let's just. No, I don't think it's not on Disney.
Oh, it's just a shame.
Who made the film?
It was Fox. I'm sure it was
Fox.
Fox. Was it Fox?
It's a
Disney
Fox show.
Disney
It's a
owns Fox,
movie.
doesn't it?
It was Fox. I'm sure it was Fox. Is it Fox?
Yeah.
That's
always
my
Fox.
contribution to this. Makes
Well,
no
since
sense.
Disney now owns Fox,
Well, yes. I mean, we're getting all the Spider stuff turn up on Disney Plus. I can't wait. Quite frankly, should be good.
I'll have to dig my DVD out then.
I'm going to have to
Bummer.
as well. But like I
just
say, we'll
gotta
have
make
Adam
it quick.
in here in 2 weeks, hopefully.
Oh, hang on.
Yes.
It's on Netflix.
there you go.
Oh.
Netflix.
Well
Maybe
done,
on your side
sir.
of the pond, it's not on American Netflix.
Well
I
done.
don't
No.
think.
Well, it's on
Congratulations on that.
Netflix here. I'm looking at it
Yeah.
right now.
Are we doing a live watch along?
Oh, I don't think we should.
The last time we tried that was Blake 7, and that didn't
It
go well.
did go a
And
little
this
bit
is way longer.
wonky, didn't it? Yeah, no, I don't think so. We can't do movies not as a live thing because we keep desyncing. It's ridiculous. God knows why, but we do. And it just doesn't work. Something short, like, a Doctor Who episode, yes. And there's only 2 people. That works. But, yeah, no. What?
No, it's okay. I was just my brain was making connections where there are none.
I love human beings. Always seeing patterns where there aren't any. Right. So yeah, that's what's coming up with Firefly. After Firefly, because we do need to start talking about it. I do want to go back and redo Quatermass, and I have found a way for you guys to see it, and that includes you, Brian, as well. However, we're going to have to delay Quatermass. There's a reason, which I'm not going to go into on the show. It's a good reason. Don't worry. Good reason. But we have to delay it. So what about Space Above and Beyond?
Oh.
I've never seen it. And Brian, that's one you suggested.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
What's
Which
it called?
surprises me. Space
Space
Above and Beyond.
Space Above and Beyond. I can link the.
I
playlist.
do have that on DVD, but it's in the American region, and I had to buy a special DVD player to be able to watch it. But that DVD player is no longer in commission.
Use your PS5.
Does that do multi-region?
I suspect so, yes.
In that case, I might be all right.
I don't know. You have to check. I don't
I
know.
will.
Brian, what did you try and watch that Quatermass thing on that time? Was
I tried just on my regular Blu-ray and it doesn't work.
it your Blu-ray player, not the computer or...
I tried it on my computer. It doesn't work.
Okay, well, we'll find out soon. You're going to have to suck it and see, I'm afraid. Ah, dear. So, Space Above Beyond. I know how they finished it.
She was walking like this. As you can tell, she was
AMF.
being
I'm intrigued.
Hmm?
What are you watching? Right. So,
YouTube.
moving on into colour. Disgusting colour. Yellows and, well, oranges and greens. And it's a case of, oh, really? Really? You couldn't have chosen something a bit nicer? Arthur Daly, he's all right, is having a drink in a bar. I better explain. Arthur Daly is a character played by an actor called George Cole, who's the main actor in this episode of Out of the Unknown. And they're living in a society where you can essentially back up your memories and personalities into somebody else's brain. I think it's called Contact, isn't it? And I don't like the idea of it right from the off, quite frankly. However, Packer from The Invasion turns up, Peter Halliday, a little bit all over the place, gets George Cole drunk, and somehow persuades him to become his backup. Because everybody else has turned round and I believe the phrase is expunged him. So, yeah. Unfortunately, the guy then goes and kills himself and George Cole is left with this guy's memories and personalities slowly taking over. And this guy's not very nice. Who wants to go first? Okay, good. Spanky, you're going first.
Okay. I thought this was like Altered Carbon without the cloning,
Who said
basically.
that? Somebody else said that.
I said that to you yesterday.
Oh, okay.
You really should check that series out. It's worth it. So basically, you've got the gift of immortality. Only they're going to jam your mind into someone else's brain. That you would think would sound like a really bad idea from the giddy up, right? Because how much room do you have in your head? And you see it. I thought they did it felt a little bit rushed, but they did start showing towards the end, right? People who are having difficulties with, like the guy who has his mom in his brain, can't have sex with women anymore, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the guy whose dad keeps popping out of him, and his spouse seems really understanding, forbearing about it, but still there's, again, like this guy, get this other whack job stuck in your head, and what are you going to do? Because after they've died, you can't expunge them, right? You can only do that before they've died, so...
Yes.
This guy is going to carry the whack job forever and ever and ever, which may not be that long. By the end of the show, you get the idea that, it may not be that long before that particular guy ends, which, I don't know, there was also one other thing I thought they should have touched on, which was the guy had 2 kids, right? And he mentions that he has his wife and his 2 children, the twin babies that are in his head when he takes the other guy on.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that's why it should be a one-way connection, because otherwise, if he died, the fellow, the jackass guy, would end up with him, his wife, and the 2 babies in his head as well.
Yeah.
So you get not just the person, but everything they're carrying when it's transferred over. It just makes me think, were they really hinting that society was going to actually collapse within one generation by all these people having too many, personalities loaded into their minds.
It's an abject
Because
lesson.
that must be ready to happen.
It's an abject lesson on 2 points. One, it's a lesson against the excesses of drinking alcohol. Also, it's a lesson about accepting your fate. About, look, we're given so long on this earth. It's just a natural thing. To try and extend that process artificially just is unnatural. I don't like stuff like that. I think everyone goes, oh, you can live forever. Oh, we're going to, we can add 10 years to your life. Well, for fuck's sake, I'm going to be honest with you. The state I'm in, I don't want another 10 years added on top. I honestly think it's a retrograde step for humanity. Because without the fear of death, we will not progress. Anyone?
Bit of biting social commentary.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes.
Especially on people's fear of death too. Yeah.
Speaking as a clone who is instantly renewed into a new body whenever I die, I disagree.
Oh, okay. Well, some of us have different experiences, of course.
I think you're being very
clonist,
non-clonist.
Okay.
And I won't stand for it.
Listen, Dolly, the sheep's
I'm
your
all in
friend.
favor of cloning, and the continuing on of the person through the method of cloning, like in Altered Carbon. I'd be all for that. I'd love that. That would be great.
Was there a second series of Altered Carbon? I watched the first one. And I thought it was awesome. But then I heard they were doing a second one, but for reasons I can't go into, it wasn't going to be the same actor because of reasons. And I thought he brought a lot to it, so I didn't go and watch the second one.
May I ask, where did you watch it, Sinister, please?
Netflix?
All right, I'll give that a shot.
It's a Netflix series.
If people are recommending it so highly.
Yeah, 2 live action, and then 1 or maybe 2 animated series with it. 1 for sure.
It's very Blade Runner, cyberpunk kind of.
I'll give that a shot. Oh, look at little doggy. He gave you a little look just then. Just to make sure. How is he? Is he getting there?
Yep, he had a wonderful time last night. He was out for 3 hours. He usually goes out around midnight for about 15 minutes to be, as wild as he can be, and he decided to stretch that until 3 a.m.
You must have been so happy. Talking of which, how's Maisie and Jasper getting on?
They can be in the same room now.
This is good.
It's progress.
Exactly, it is progress. I don't really need to ask Sinister for an update on Ty and Whisper, because I sort of know what's going on there. Plus, on top of that, Sinister posts photos every day, and I worry when he doesn't post them, if I'm honest with you. Today's cat is one of my favourites every day. Brian, how is Ty getting on? Tor. Jesus Christ. He's as Ty, yours is Tor.
Satan is doing well. He's he's ginormous.
Yes.
He just turned a year old last month.
Oh.
He's not a little kitten anymore.
But I bet he still acts it.
The dog is now his favorite plaything, for he hunts the blind deaf dog.
Oh, poor Ace.
No, not with claws, just he bounces on them and tackles them and stuff. And I honestly think Ace enjoys it.
I hope so.
Because without these random attacks, he'd have nothing.
Is it a bit like Kato in the Pink Panther movies?
That's exactly what I was picturing when I said those words. Yeah, it's a little bit like that. He also enjoys the laser to the point of telling us to do the laser.
Yeah.
And he will jump 6 feet in the air for the laser.
I love a jumping cat.
He gets fast. He hits pretty good, right around my head level.
Ty jumps in the air if I'm doing the 1D thing.
Oh, the 1D thing that's broken. They've broken it
and
off.
Ty doesn't give a stuff what is in the vicinity or what he might land on.
Anyway, moving on now. Brian, Out of the Unknown.
I hated this episode.
Ooh,
I hated everything about
why?
it. I hated the entire premise of it. Because
Interesting.
having someone's personality stuck in my head as a form of immortality would be a living hell.
I agree totally.
Absolutely terrifying.
It's all great. Yes, my wife is going to live in my head rent free after she dies. No, I don't want that.
No.
Suppose I meet a new missus.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll always have my kids in my brain. No, that's dumb. And God forbid your kids get you in your head, because like they had there, the guy got his mother in his head. He was no longer attracted to women. He was no longer attracted to pretty much anyone. No, it's a whole mess of problems. And then you get the psychos. Like
Peter Halliday. Yeah.
like our problem person there. When she came home and saw the bars on the windows, she knew something was up, and she tried to get out. Then she saw him cocking the gun and getting that all ready.
Yeah.
She's about to have not only her husband, but the psycho that was in her husband. And I believe he also had his father in his head.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's fucked.
Yeah.
I hate this episode so much.
What did you think of the storytelling then? Put the premise aside for a moment. Look at it as a TV show.
As a TV show, yes, it was fine. It was typical 60s style storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't impressed. Oh, they're using color again.
Must have been 1970.
Welcome to the 20th century.
You started on colour before we did, to be fair.
Yeah.
I did first colour
I
television.
had a
I
black
saw
and
was-
white TV set growing up until I was like 7.
Oh,
So-
longer than you, I'm afraid. My dad got one in 90 when I was 10. That would have been Christmas.
Well, I made a big deal about
1977.
wanting to see
But
Sesame
I
Street.
didn't live
in
with
color.
my dad. I had to wait until
I
my
made a very big deal about wanting to see Sesame Street in color. I wanted to see Bert and Ernie in color.
Fair enough. Oh, I got into trouble for that. I made a post. Bert and Ernie are 2 radio jockeys, and they're reporting on the nuclear war that's about to happen.
Yeah, I've posted that.
Yeah, I might have shared it from you then. Someone was a bit offended about the subject of nuclear war. An old friend
Yeah.
of mine, I was quite surprised. I thought
Well, then
that
can
would
I
have been
share
more like his sense of humour.
Can I share our review of Threads to your Facebook page then?
Feel
That
free.
should help them.
Feel free. I wonder why, Glenn. That's odd. Anyway, Retta, what did you make of this?
I'm 100% behind Paco. 125% behind Paco. Nothing about this I liked.
Did you not enjoy the
Nothing.
production of it? Move away from the story. Look at the actual show
But the-
itself.
But the story is the show.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other things that go into making a show than just a story. I mean, how was the acting? You know?
I like the wife.
Fair enough.
The butler kind of, I mean, not butler, the bartender kind of amused me a little
That
bit.
bartender ended up being Alf Roberts in Coronation Street for many, many years. A little factoid you might like.
Oh, okay.
No frame of reference.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it.
But you see, you're talking to the person who doesn't like to watch anything before 1980. There's very few rare exceptions.
Are you on the wrong show?
There are very few exceptions of things that I will watch that are done before 1980. So
Let's
this
wait.
is actually stretching me a little bit about
Good.
trying to get outside of my
Yeah.
comfort zone to see if I can like it.
Well,
But the problem is, I know you want me to separate the production from the story,
yeah.
but
if
in
possible.
my mind, I can't.
Okay,
it-
that's fair.
It's just I was so horrified with the story that thinking about the production of the TV show,
Didn't occur.
it didn't really occur because I was just so horrified about the prospect, like Paco said, of somebody sharing my brain with me. Nobody wants to be in this chaos. I don't want to be else in this chaos.
Well, I've got
And
some.
now
I've got
that's-
some good news for you. We've got 5.
Nobody
left.
else wants to be. What?
We've got
what?
5. Only got 5 left.
Oh no, I like the other ones that we've done with this one. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's just this particular one.
Yeah. It's all right. I'm very aware what Brian's been like with Ashes to Ashes, and I don't want a repeat of that, quite frankly. There's only 5 left. Next week's one is To Lay a Ghost, and we're on to series 4. So,
Oh wow! What happened to the rest of series 3?
Deaccessorized, withdrawn, and junked.
Wiped.
Oh,
Well, they made them on, was it cellulose? They made them on a lot of them, and they just degraded.
No, they
Oh.
physically got wiped.
Oh,
Yeah.
did they really?
Oh yeah,
Just
that's
That's
what happened to
what I
Doctor Who because videotape
Wow.
was so expensive back in the day.
Yeah,
they'd
that's just
they'd make a
horrifying.
film of the show. They'd play the show on a thingy on a special screen,
Film it.
and they'd film it, and that would be what was sent to other countries. But the actual original videotapes, a lot of them were wiped in the 60s. It's mostly been from other countries that we've got the ones back that we have got.
They saw no value in archive television.
I know. So
Yeah.
how short-sighted is that? I mean, let's be honest.
yes.
We're
I mean-
sorry, future generations.
It's not just
Yeah.
Doctor Who. It's just so many different programs. Dad's Army, for heaven's sakes. Who gets rid of Dad's Army?
Bad Army, Steptoe and Son.
I mean, just because I don't like watching shows that are before 1980 does not mean I don't see the value in shows
That is
before
an
1980.
excellent way of expressing yourself. I congratulate you on that one. That's good. I like that.
Lots of early Avengers episodes are missing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. No,
Well, thank God we have Hogan's Heroes.
I've never seen Hogan's Heroes.
I'm still
sorry.
trying to work out how
Yeah,
Batman meant Colonel Clink. Because Colonel Clink is from the 40s. Batman's in the 60s. And he says, "Give my regards to Colonel Hogan." I'm confused. Sorry, anybody watching Batman 1966, the Adam West thing, when they're climbing up the wall, they'd have guests come out of the window as they were climbing up the wall, and at one stage it was Colonel Clink. I'll shut up now. Sinister, what did you make of this?
The premise is an interesting one, and I'm thinking about how long I can waffle on before I basically admit that I didn't watch it.
I think we're looking at 5 seconds.
I lost the plot. I lost.
That's... Oh, I'll put the plot to one side. What did you make of the production?
It sounds horrible.
I actually enjoy it. It's good acting. The premise is horrible, but the acting's great and the story is good to go with it. So yeah, I The Lonely Man. Do.
This one may have been another case of it doesn't matter how good the actors are. If the story and plot are horrible, nobody's going to like it.
You see, when you say horrible, can you define? Do you mean the idea is a horrible idea, or do you just mean
The idea
well, it's
is
not written well?
horrible. The writing, not that well written.
Again, it's an adaptation from a book, a short story.
Yeah, it's not that well adapted.
Well, we've run into this before with Out of the Unknown, to be fair.
Oh, yes.
With other things too.
See, I'm getting the feeling that you feel sad that we aren't agreeing with that these are wonderful pieces of
No.
show.
No. I enjoy showing them to you in the hope you see what I see in them. But if not, I still get your views, and that's why I do this. Because, thank you, Chestnut.
I was waiting for
I
that.
can
It's
get-
a little overdue.
He is. I get your views, and often they're not views that you normally hear. They're not perceived wisdom. You know,
See,
so
wisdom.
so it makes me think rather than just accept what everyone else has said. That's what I mean. That Joe was superb at doing that. She'd come out with something, and I'd go, "Oh shit, you're right."
You said for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks that when we got to the episode "The Machine Stops," that was a classic episode, and I don't think any of us liked it.
Fair enough. It's all subjective. This entire show is subjective. We can't be objective, unfortunately.
However, we did agree on the Tomorrow People.
It got worse after season 4.
Close.
It got worse after series 4.
Yeah, the minute Mike joined.
Yeah, essentially. I stopped watching those in the end and just let you and Eddie do it. I couldn't bring myself to destroy my childhood memories.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah. Mind you, I've been the same with Firefly. I haven't watched Firefly since very possibly the first episode.
In other words, you're having me do the synopsis because you're not watching it.
Yeah. But if I'm honest with you, I ask you to do it because you're fucking brilliant at it. Quite frankly. We've never had something that clear before on the show, and it's wonderful. And I'm going to keep asking you when we do Space Above and Beyond, please, because I will be watching that. I've never seen it before. I'll still be asking you to do a recap for us.
Reddit's recaps.
Ooh, I like that.
It's catchy. I like it.
Sinister, to the video editing suite.
To the rescue, right?
Do we have a video editing suite?
Trademark it quick. Or copyright it, whichever.
So,
Do we have unicorns?
I don't see why not. I like unicorns. Yeah, more unicorns and sparkles and rainbows are even better. We like that. Okay, so next week we are looking at, I've forgotten the name of it, another Out of the Unknown thing. The Doctor Who story Extremis. Big finish. Sorry?
Oxygen.
Is it Oxygen?
Oxygen.
Yes, of course it's Oxygen.
Shows this week after.
Andrew, I'm so sorry. You are quite right. Because I've missed out events. So it's Oxygen. Oxygen's a damn good one. It really is a damn good
It's
one.
very creepy, but I do like it.
Yep.
It's horrifying and creepifying, and it's perfect.
And it is biting as well. It's biting satire. Biting! Oh, that's a good word. Biting. It's like kissing, but there's a winner. Yeah, so that's next week. Don't forget the picnic in the park. 2nd of July. Goffs Park, Crawley, 1 p.m. Bring your own food and drinkies. All right. In the past, these have been very, very pleasant. We've never had anything go wrong on either that or Winter Warmer, so I'm hoping this one goes well. Like I say, it's for staggering stories more than me. There's more of them for a start. They're bigger than me. So please come along. It doesn't matter which show you listen to. If you listen to both of them, it doesn't matter if you don't listen to any of them. Just come and join us. A gentle hangout. Sit there under the shade of the trees. It'll be lovely. 2nd of July. Make a note. The RPG. Retta, you look a little bit funny. Are you okay?
Oh no, I'm perfectly fine.
Are you indeed? Right, okay.
I created an achievement.
Achievement unlocked. Fuck over the games master so hard he has to scrap the session.
It wasn't
Which-
fuck over the games master.
It fucked us up, basically.
Yeah, you guys are gonna die.
Yeah, but I can see a way out of it if you'll let me do it.
You guys are going to die.
All right, we're going to have to replay the session then.
Yeah.
He's not going to go for it. You see, what I was going to do was get him to talk. Then I had a Parley card I could have played and explained this. Hopefully I'd had a chance to talk to Retta so that she would have been very apologetic and everything else like that. And we could possibly, considering Adama, thanks to a card, is falling in love with me, we could Possibly.
Do you remember the part in Battlestar Galactica, the latest series, where they put the skin job in the airlock and Rosalind
Yes.
made a deal
Yeah,
with
yes.
him
Yeah.
for information and stuff, and then spaced him?
Yeah. I do remember that. Fuck.
How long can you hold your breath?
Oh, you don't do that when you're out in space because it bursts your lungs.
13 seconds is what you get.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's about 28 seconds. 28 point.
If you're lucky, a ship with an infinite improbability drive.
That's
will
where
pick
I'm
you
going
up.
with that. The actual odds of being picked up by a spaceship are this number, which, curiously enough, is the same number as the telephone number of the Islington flat, where Arthur Dent once went to a party and was chatting up this really nice girl who was an
He
astrophysicist.
totally failed to get off
He
with.
totally failed to get off with her, and because this bloody guy turns up and says, "Hey, guy, I've got a spaceship. Do you want to see?" And she went off with him.
Well,
So,
needless.
in essence, yes, you died.
So I just I did put up a good battle trying to get out of it.
I mean, you were superb. You had me in utter hysterics last night. You really did.
You were playing your character perfectly
Yes.
well.
Yes.
The fault is mine because I did not ring you in when you got way the fuck out there.
So what we need to do is we need to have another conversation between Auntie and Ella. Ella will be more
Receptive
receptive to the idea
of not
and
blowing
then we'll
everybody
let-
up.
and then we will have Spanky perform the wonderful plan that he had created, which he tried telling us we needed to go along with, and Ella had nothing to do.
He
wanted
didn't have a
nothing to do with
plan.
it.
He was just trying to stop you. He didn't actually have a plan.
He did have a plan.
No, we
If
were
he
going to
was
land
there-
there, and we were going to talk our way into doing this.
And he had. You guys had the maps and everything there. You guys.
I
were
know.
doing your thing.
And then
And I-
somebody comes up, kills 4 of the guards.
No, I didn't kill them. I stunned them.
Right? Yes, because that helps.
It's an important distinction.
Then we had an argument in jail, which Spanky totally failed to pick up on. He had to be prompted.
No, I caught that, right. I was just busy escaping from myself.
Yeah, remember he was trying to get out of his cell so that way he could.
Well, yeah, we started arguing. At one point, I turned around and said, "Now would be a great time to escape." Distraction, basically. It was a hell of a lot of fun last night. It's just a shame we can't go forward from there.
Well, like I said, I'm sorry that I put us in this position.
I don't
Not
mind.
on you, it's
I
on
don't
me.
mind. I enjoyed it myself, no matter what. Quite frankly, I've never played with a role player like you before, Retta. You're a level.
Really?
You're a level above. You really are, and it's quite fun to watch and listen to. If I'm honest with you.
Well,
It
thank
really
you.
is.
You would have loved our old World of Darkness games back in the
Oh my god! Remember
Oh.
Brent and the Delirium Mobile?
Oh, Jesus Christ, that was hilarious.
My husband was playing a werewolf, and one of the rules of the werewolves is the fact that you don't go full Chronos because you don't want to scare the humans. Well, they were in the middle of a busy traffic, like rush hour type deal, and they needed to get from one end of town to the other. So my husband decides, okay, you know what? He jumps on top of the car and he says, drive, and goes full Chronos. The panic ensues as people are rushing to get out of the way of this car with a giant werewolf on top of it.
I approve. Quite frankly. So yes, we're playing again next Saturday night. It will be streamed. However, it's not for kids. And Brian's coming up with fancy decorations for it, which should be interesting. Are they there already, or are you
I'm
waiting
getting
until?
things ready.
Yeah, you're getting ready because
They'll be debuting with the new
That's
campaign.
what I was going to say. Yeah, because we're playing a new game in however many weeks it takes us to finish this one. But
Well, we're going to finish this. Then I'm going to recover.
Recover.
yeah,
Yes, because you people are going to drive me to drink. And then and then we'll start again when I forget, how horribly traumatized I am now.
I'm really looking forward to the new game. I think it sounds wonderful, quite frankly. something
Well,
new that
you're
I've
the
not
one who didn't
experienced.
let me come and play, Paco.
I know.
You should have known better.
I should have. I didn't. Oh well, you're here now.
Right then, so Sinister, what are you doing next week? Can I expect a visit or not?
We'll see. Maybe.
All right, okay. Don't feel you have to. I'm serious. Don't feel you have to. I appreciate you work a long day, and there's a lot of driving involved. So what are you doing next week? Working a long day and a lot of driving involved.
Working and getting ready for Leader Day, and I'm going to be pretty alone in the office next week, to be honest, because
Hello, Charlotte.
a lot of people I work with come down from Halifax, and they're not coming this week because of the train strikes.
Oh, right, okay. It's all right. So she's decided she's got a new spot to lie down. Unfortunately, it knocks everything on the bloody floor. Because cat. This is the cat you gave me, Andrew. I'm just saying. Cutie pie. All right. We've got 2 fan dinosaurs on Friday, haven't we? Unless we're going down to one episode, I'm going to cry.
Unless you melt.
It's episodes 3 and 4 of Warriors of the Deep. It's 8 o'clock. No, sorry, it's 9 o'clock UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's for a live watch-along and commentary of the last episodes of Warriors of the Deep. It'll be on YouTube afterwards. Saturday is the role-playing. Retta, what are you doing next week?
Working. That's all I do, Auntie. You ask me every
I'm so
week.
sorry. I thought you were quoting Majel Barrett as the Star Trek computer.
Working.
Work. No, I won't have anything new to say until the week of the 10th. Because on the week of the 10th, well, actually, no, I won't be able to say anything because won't be here the week of the 10th for you.
Everyone
Because I'm
follow
going to a
that.
family.
Oh, do you need a diagram?
Well, no, I have to go to a family reunion on the 10th. But then I have a week vacation.
We don't do family reunions. My family.
Well, we haven't done any since COVID, and it's at the beach house, so Brent and I got to pick
Well,
up
that
his
sounds
phone.
good. A beach house. That sounds fun.
Yep, because normally what I do is I sit out in the front porch in one of the chairs facing the ocean and just
Smoke
sit
weed.
there the entire. Yep. Well, no, I don't.
But you
Smoke
should.
weed. I don't.
Actually, I don't.
I'm
I don't
boring.
say it to everybody. I smoke it because I'm in a hell of a lot of pain. So yeah. Right, Brian, are you gonna have an easier week this week?
Probably not.
Oh, why not? No, you can't say, can you?
No. I have things going on at work that in a regular IT place would already have fixed. However,
Well,
these
let's
people are afraid
see
of the
let's see what
machine
the outcome of your
and-
discussions.
Yeah.
Spanky, have I asked you? I think I have, haven't I? No, I haven't. What do you do
What I'm
next
doing
week?
this week
Yeah.
or this coming week?
Yeah.
Bugger me, I can't remember. I'm getting a haircut. maybe next week. I don't know.
I need to get mine done.
That's something for me.
I'm servicing the car. Well, not me personally. I'm going to take the car to be serviced at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. 8 fucking o'clock. That's the middle of the night. And I'm getting a car for the day, which won't be my car. So that's
So
slightly
that's like
exciting.
3 a.m. for us.
I do remember what I'm doing this week.
It's
What are you
essentially
doing
3
this
a.m.
week?
for me, like it would be normally. Go on, Spanks.
Fighting the VA for medication refills.
The fact you have to fight pisses me off.
Metformin, methadone, all that good stuff. Whatever. All the M's. Who knows other things?
Morphine.
Nah, I don't do the morphine anymore, actually. But,
Aside from that, actually, if you do
That's
pop
what I-
down, if you do pop down this time, Sinister, I can give you your Leaders' Day present.
Does Leader Day equal birthday?
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't forget, today's Auntie's Day.
Mhm.
Today's your birthday?
Any celebration that you give gifts for, yeah, Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever, you know, third Wednesday after Pentecost. Basically, they're Auntie's days, which means you have to give me presents.
No.
Good to know.
That's the law.
No.
It is. It's the law over here.
No.
I get lots of
Well,
presents.
I guess it's a good thing I live in America.
Where you're free.
Yeah.
We're
America.
free.
You can smell the freedom from here.
Dear God, yes. It wafts over.
It smells like a trash fire, doesn't it?
All right. So yeah, please don't forget the picnic on 2nd July. We're here Friday, Saturday, Sunday next weekend. We will be on. Saturday, not for kids. And we will be back next week with more nonsense because we don't know how to do it any other way. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
Will Siobhan get the right file?
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
John Levine, because you're worth it.
I got it right!